Welcome back, everyone. If you weren't with us on map number 1, we did see Sinners managing to get the victory. Initially looking to be a pretty one-sided game, but we did have AGO recover in a few rounds before it eventually ended 16-11. But AGO are going to need a lot more now here on Nuke, and they have the CT start to give themselves the chance. But look at this from Sinners. They're just charging straight forward onto that A bomb site, looking to move quickly in this round. And well, with a counter flash, are actually being slowed down a small bit now. Oh, and yeah, Furlan's got the second. Make that
finally.
4.
Oh, he's got another one. No way. Is he on for the ace? This would be incredible if he actually gets it. B6 trying to stop him, but he actually gets it. You're absolutely right. I mean, I saw that those entries from Sinners and thinking to myself, okay, they've basically taken the site. They just burst on here and they're given a go no chance. And Furlan just says, okay, I'm going to ace you. Never mind. Just forget about that. That's just not going to happen. It's our round. And maybe that's some impetus and some momentum after that first map, Dean.
We're getting lots of early aces as well, because we had the one in the second round from Krasnal in the previous map. We had the dually sure, the 3 and the 2K and the pistol of the previous map also. So it's just an exciting game, even if we haven't had the closest scores at all times. That drop down vent though, I don't know if it's 100% known for Furlan. It looks like he's being maybe cautious that someone's out, but they don't seem to be 100% certain of the drop having come in. I'm going to come back and look at the custom UI. Yeah, there is a CT down towards the ramp, at least being cautious, but he's not 100% I don't think on it either. But they do at least catch a player on the crossover, as well as some good damage on Neofrag.
Yeah, that is good. I mean, they should at least manage to get a couple of frags here. Krasnal's in a good spot, but oh, what a shot from Shock. MHL on the scout is here to defend it though. He will get tagged down to 41, however, so that might mean they can get the bomb planted. Oscar will be able to get that down in the corner as well, so that's all good for him. And they have a chance now to maybe set up a little bit of a crossfire with these pistols. That mess is rotating in. A good dink to Oscar, and all the damage is now coming through. That should be it. Great flash, though. I tell a lot, that's not a great flash. I tell a lie. It's a team flash for Furlan, and Shot gets 2 more. That sets up Zedgo on the Tech 9. He's got decent health, but he misses the first tap, and now a go know where he is. Furlan and MHL should not be letting this one go. They are on the ball. Ashley taps away, down to 17 HP. There's no defuse kit on MHL. He's playing time. He's going around the rosy. So they're about to get this one back. Can you believe it?
Jesus, yeah, I don't know how that works out. It's Shock, who was just having obviously a monster performance in that previous one, being given a bit of an opportunity, as you said, with a fluffed flash coming in and letting that Deagle just rack up headshots. We are going to get a bit of a replay of how it all went down in Le Mans, just in the open. It was his kill for free, basically. He's going to be just a little bit salty about how that one played out. I'm surprised he didn't manage to just kind of find the spray on it anyway, if I'm being honest. It looked like he was pretty much lined up on the angle. But unfortunately, he wasn't willing to commit to the spray, probably hoping they just wouldn't see him out in the open, maybe affected by the flashes themselves. But, well, we're getting the back and forth again, very similar to the early stages of Mirage. And look at Krasnal, It doesn't seem like AGO are willing to sit back. They've taken full early lobby control. It's been heard, though, by Shock, and they've already got 3 players down secret.
Yeah, Fiku's here as well, managed to drop his smoke in good time too, to manage to fall back and survive with the 5 players intact. Actually creep up toward the hell position. There are 2 players here, but that's a lot good amount of information. I think he's put 2 players crossing over there. And there's the first from the Deagle. More damage from the Deagle. Actually gets a second as well. Good headshot from Oscar, but it'll activate MHL to peek. Just about gets that frag toward Neofrag, but I think that probably will be enough anyway. Ega manages to swing wide and take Oscar as well, and now it's all Shock, the hero of the last round, thanks to that team flash anyway. That was a much more difficult task. Gets dinked through the door as well, gets 1 more back. Probably no more than that. Actually does get a second, which is good damage, but Fiki was always going to flank him. And that is 2-1 for a go. That's again, as you say, just like Mirage, back and forth. And in the end, just too many players on the A site and too much information gleaned by a go for Sinners to really do anything with it.
Yeah, and I mean, even though they had got the early 3 down secret as well, they were just instantly smoked off and ended up obviously moving it back towards that A-bomb site a little bit instead. So it just didn't work out too well for them. It was a situation where they gave up too much control while they were fully focused on outside. Nice kill by Fiku. Lands the AK headshot. It is obviously another force buy back in again from Sinners as well. So they want to try and handle this and hope to get off to a strong start here again on the CT side. AGO would very much love that after a bit of a rough Mirage performance. Good kill there on the Shock. Drop down as well. Doesn't escape with it. Decides to stick around knowing he's only against pistols. Thinking that he can do a lot more and that he doesn't need to be forced down to B as you probably would normally do so when you're against those actual weapons. And indeed, it's a good thing he sticks around because he ends up getting the trade for MHL, who goes down. Only B-Stick left standing. And while I said he is good in these clutches, I don't think he's going to be getting it done now with just a Deagle.
Yeah, not to be, I would imagine, in this scenario. More damage again would be nice. And we saw the amount that Shock was able to do in the previous round, put the economy of a Ghost under pressure, and there we go. What a shot that is. Goodness me, we're seeing some insane frags so far in this game. Ones that might not necessarily matter in the context of a round, but like great shot from B-Stick. And it means he can recover the AWP, and that could be a huge save. It would actually be worth a save if he can just creep away towards CT spawn here. I doubt that a Go will look to hunt it, considering they will be desperately wanting to survive with 3 players alive. So yeah, he'll be able to shift away and probably keep that over to the next round and drop his Deagle over to a teammate. So they can have something in the next round, Stinners. But unfortunately, that's probably it. What a pretty AWP.
It's quite nice.
I have that one myself, actually.
What's the name of that one?
Neo Noir, I believe.
Oh, Neo Noir, yeah. It's got nice colours. I keep all my settings on the lowest, though, even though I get like 600 FPS. I'm weird.
The Counter-Strike way. Play 4x3 in 2021, yeah.
It's like, I can't have that extra 2 milliseconds or like 2 tenths or whatever of a millisecond of input delay. I can't. That's what it
I
is.
know. I've always played native, and people make fun of me for it.
I do play
native is the best. You do play native? Okay,
yeah,
good.
I
You've gone up in my estimation, even further than before.
Back in the days, I used to play like 4x3, but that was because initially when I first started playing CS, I had a terrible PC and like a 4x3 thing, but it was like 100 hertz, so it was nice. I actually quite like playing with it. It was 1280 by 1024 or something. But then obviously I eventually upgraded monitors and kind of stuck with that res for a while. But I've been native for a few years now, sticking to the L 1080p 240 hertz.
Of course.
Pistols again though, so we can afford to just chat about random things here. Apart from Oscar, once he gets into the front of the pack, we need to focus on that up, because that'll be looking for some openings, and he is looking to try and take the lead now. He had initially been working around lobby, I believe.
Yeah, really, for him to take the lead would be the way to go about this. I mean, you can send a pistol in first and try and bait the AWP in, especially one of the 3 Glocks that they have. But going for the entry on the AWP can often work out nicely for you. Actually going to be boosting up Zedco to go for a little bit of a run boost. It's a huge failure, and that actually means that Oscar gets eaten away first. MHL gets 2 frags. Nice frag from B-Stick to at least trade it, but they recovered the AWP, and Fern's playing with Zedco right now. Easy headshot for him, and now it's all B-Stick once again on the AWP. Swings wide, does take Furlan, and now it's a 1 versus 3. Would be a 1 versus 4 in total. He does have the bomb on his back, so he can go through single door and have a chance at getting it planted. I don't think there's anyone here to defend it. Vico is going to be the first one on the scene. He'll probably be waiting for a few teammates to join up and help him. He does have 2 in the round so far, so he'll be feeling it, but just misses the readjustment. It would have been interesting to see how much further that would have gone if he got that 3rd frag, but not to be. And they'll delay the defuse to collect as much utility and aggressive weaponry, better weaponry as possible. So 4-1, good start for a Go. CT side of Nuke, what they needed after map 1 for sure.
Yeah, definitely looking better. Carrying on from kind of the uptick in performance they had once they got over to their CT side of Mirage as well, to be fair, because we've got to remember it was 10-5 at the halftime. AGO then had a rough start into the half as well and ended up down like 14-7, I believe, even at one point before they started to pull it back a bit. Got a few rounds going. We could see that they were certainly finding their footing a little bit within those rounds, and then we kind of just missed the last round, unfortunately, with the server issues. So it does seem like they're definitely a little bit more warmed up here coming into Nuke, and we'll see whether that continues now as the gun rounds come through from Sinners, of course. Bit of aggression in towards ramp even. They're definitely not slowing things down in terms of the pace. They do want to go forward. Shock trying to move out from door is going to be spammed to bits. His teammate in the background dropped as well as the quick double opening comes in favour of the CT side initially. B-Stick dropping at least gets back 1, takes a bit of control around main, but he's not able to hang on to it, unfortunately. So the numbers for now continue to sway in favour of AGO.
Good frag from Zedco to at least give him a chance in this one. And he drops down toward the outside yard without taking any damage. Exactly how you're supposed to do it. MHL, he spots the strafe. And that could give them some information. The man's also in position 2. He just falls off the angle, though. And obviously toward the CT vent at the moment. MHL just waiting, a little bit concerned that there could be someone below him, perhaps toward Hell. Zedko can creep in toward main. That will be called over for sure to Le Mans. That's why he's in that position, just holding it. But that's a beautiful piece of crosshair placement from Zedko. That's the AWP out of the round for a go. And now they have a 2 versus 2 to work out. Krasnal is toward the B site. He's in the right spot for this. He's holding a very nice angle as well. 30 seconds on the round, and he'll get an easy headshot towards Zedko. It's now all Oscar, and it will be Krasnal to clear it up. And more CT aggression from a go, working out very nicely. And that's actually something that I'll bring up. And as I mentioned earlier, I mean, Krasnal, as I said, was a member of that Los Coyotes roster that was just made their way to advanced playoffs out of nowhere a couple of seasons ago. And they were, as a team to watch, they were unique, let's put it that way. There was always force buys, always aggression, never any slow long rounds. They always went no holds barred, and it's nice to see Nabi Krasnal taking a little bit of that.
That sounds like American and Asian CS. What are you on about?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it was incredible to watch those guys. Yeah, I mean, I respect that. I respect it. Yeah. Krasnal has done good work here toward ramp once again, defending with the utility and the weaponry as well. A nice spray towards Shock to take him down. USP's out, looking to get some more frags. Third, looking for a fourth, but not to be. Zedko looked to do some more fragging, but MHL just jumps on top of him. Well, that makes it 6-1. Very nicely done. This is now a good chance for a go to post a very strong number on their CT side.
I think I heard some sirens coming through your mic, and it might have been an ambulance for Sinners with how this is going so far. They're looking to need it. That ramp push did not go too well. They were looking for at least a bit of damage out of it. This is a good time for a pause, though. I do have to admit that. We'll see some teams maybe sit a little bit too late before they actually end up calling in some of those timeouts. Sinners, though, they realise now that if they don't start to turn it around at this point, then they're probably not going to be coming out with a very great T-side at all. But they still have the chance right now to do it, because the economy isn't ridiculously out of control for AGO at all. I mean, win this round and already Krasnal's a little bit low in economy. He's pretty put onto a weaker weapon as they buy up in the next round. Take that one, suddenly you're on track for 4 on the T side already, and into a position where you're definitely beginning to salvage the half into a decent position. So we'll see how they can do this now, but it really does come down to them coming alive immediately. They can't really dilly-dally and lose out any more rounds before they start adding some of their own.
For sure, for sure. That is Furlan's technique on how to break open the squeaky door if it wasn't already. Okay, so is also perhaps a rush. Come straight into those vents, as there was a smoke there that could have made that possible. But yeah, for now, Fiku, a little bit more aggressive towards Secret on this occasion. Oscar is towards Silo. Would have a sightline on that. I always like to see a fast play towards Secret to possibly catch a few T's off guard. Shock has already been caught by Lemon as well. Fella's playing around the smoke toward outside. Oh, he actually hits the spray a little bit toward Oscar. But despite the fact there's no traces, Oscar finds him in the smoke. That's a great recovery, but unfortunately MHL can only go 1 for 1. So with Oscar holding the vents, that should clear up the round. Krasnal in a 1 versus 3. He does have a defuse kit. But Neofrag is creeping up and could catch him off guard a little bit. Does get the first. He actually peeks to his own Molotov, I believe. Or at least a teammate's Molotov. And only just takes him down with 17 HP to spare. Again, huge aggression, and it works out.
Yeah, I think it was his own. I'm not going to lie, it scared me a little bit. He got taken pretty low. If he goes down there, if he didn't just land the headshot as he did, then suddenly it's a one-on-one that I'm in belief that could potentially still be one out for the CTs. So a bit risky considering the current score, but I guess that's what you need, a bit of confidence behind them. Neofrag was one of those players alongside obviously Shock in that previous map who was absolutely popping off. So that's what you're going to want here once again if you do want to salvage this T side into a somewhat decent position. But as I mentioned now, you have Krasnal on a slightly weaker weapon. Everyone else is just about able to get their buy-in. This is a chance. If Sinners manage to chain together a couple of rounds here and now, they break that CT economy and really get things going. But obviously AGO don't want to let that happen. If they can get the round here immediately back, then they're going to be once again getting themselves into control here on the CT side, leaving Sinners looking weak on the economy. Bit of aggression maybe around lobby. No, it's just going to be the nade in. It doesn't even do any damage. I thought the player in the hut itself was maybe thinking of finally going forward. He'd been patient for a while. And I think they're just happy enough to let Sinners sit back for now, although Sinners are saving up a lot of their nades while doing so. They're not really getting pressured very much. On the other hand, AGO have used a ton of theirs.
That is true. That is true. And I think they went for a little bit of a play there for Leman, looking for some information toward lobby. I think he knew they were there, but just looking for a cheeky frag and then to fall back with a 5 versus 4. I think he was a little bit unlucky with the timing. As the player above him on that little rafter next to the ladder was blind, but didn't see him before he fell back off a bit, wanting to retain at least a 5v5 and not give his life away. But they go for it again, and this time I think probably just dry. Takes down Neofrag, so that's the opener they want, and Fiku toward outside on the edge of those smokes will take B-Stick as well, and this is what a go wants. The economy, as you've mentioned, is not in a good spot, and look at the amount of damage onto Zedko and Oscar. 2 dinks come through. Oscar does manage to get 1, but there's no way that Zedko expects Krasnal on the B site with the MP9 already. Now it's all Shark on alert. Will be heard on the drop down. He will actually manage to take MHL, but only 3 seconds to go. All he can do is grab the AWP and run off and save it. Actually going to get hunted. If he gets taken out after time, it could be a problem. He'll be left with only 1,000. Oh, he just about survives. 1 tick on the round left. That's fortunate. But he does have the AWP to take forward.
And they'll probably buy alongside that now as well. Oscar had enough to drop the AK over, so he should be doing that, so Shock has his weapon to work, but everyone else can just about scrape together the rifles. The nades aren't really there, but you've got the op still, you've got all the rifles, and you can work some picks, knowing that, again, AGO obviously didn't have a clean round there, so you have the opportunity to still break them and bring this into a decent position on your T side. Krasnal, I like the confidence we're seeing from him right now. It's a bit risky, but he has the flash from MHL. Shock completely caught off guard, a little bit shocked, you could say. As the push around main now, actually, as they look towards A. A little bit surprised they're moving so quickly on this. Ready, though, for the trade. Neofrag with a good follow-up onto Laman. The rotation into heaven, though, for MHL is ready. And Neofrag, again, begins to go forward before his teammates are there, before they're actually prepared for that push to come in.
Yeah, this is very interesting now, because we've got MHL just scouting toward hell. There's the information. I'm not sure if he knows for sure if there's a player directly above him, though. That is Zedko. Creeping in toward heaven. MHL just using all his utility to try and get out of this situation. But look where Zedko's got. He's got all the way through past that position. It might have been called over to a teammate, but as it is, it's a bit of an opening, I'd feel, at the moment. Oscar can creep further toward outside. Zedko actually drops down and does deal with Krasnal. Does he know MHL is there as well? I think he did. But MHL is too strong and will take the frag, and now this puts Oscar in a very tough spot. Bomb is dropped in MHL's possession, but that's a lovely shot from Oscar. Big wallbang, and he seems to know. He knows where Fiku's coming from. Oh, if only he's stuck with it for a second or two longer. He's going to be so frustrated about that. He had the read, Dean.
I think he's just got to trust the game sense a little bit more. Yeah, no, that's just unfortunate. He thought it was coming in a little bit quicker. He figured if the player was going to peek, he probably would have done it faster, having been prepared for the trade off his teammate. But it's a little bit delayed, and he unfortunately just about takes his knife out or whatever for half a second, or unscopes in general. That's unlucky. It leaves Sinners now in a bit of an awkward buy. They do have the 1 rifle to work with on Neofrag, but everyone else on the half investment, and they've been mowed down as they try and get outdoor. A molly and a spray in from Krasnal takes out both Zedko and Oscar early on, and I think Fiku might have the head of Neofrag maybe, as he's trapped up on top of main currently, and I believe Krasnal creeping below as well was pretty much ready for the kill, but Fiku deals with it. It's not going to be needed. B-Stick and Shock left alone, and we have AGO looking even more dominant than what we got from Sinners on that previous map.
Yeah, and it's somewhat surprising, isn't it? I mean, don't get me wrong, Ago have had good results on this map alongside Sinners, but you know, this is Sinners' pick for a reason. But yeah, it's going to be a pretty nice cleanup again here. Sinners have beaten teams, you know, such as, I think they've had really good results, actually. They've been in complexity on this map of Sinners. They've actually managed to beat Entropic as well in that recent DreamHack Open November qualifier. I think that we did that one, Dean, didn't we? Where they took that one over Entropic very comfortably with that insane Oscar. I think it was the 4K in the end with that unfortunate whiff at the end of the ace. That's one that I'll remember for a while. But yeah, it's going to be interesting to see if they can fight back, because you know, teams taking each other's map picks is something you've almost come to expect in CS these days. It seems always a little bit like it seems to go that way. Map picks, everyone seems to play every map at the moment, and again, I think starting on that CT side possibly is a bit of an advantage for a go for sure, especially with the power of the Silenced M4 at the moment. Sinners will be creeping toward outside with 1 minute 25 on the clock, looking to take control of Garage, and because of that, Fiku will fall back towards CT.
It's a little bit of a switch up. The deeper smokes, as you said, to get this control. They need to be cautious, though, because Fiku is fighting from the spawn, and well, they're expecting someone up close in the Garage swinging through. It's going to be pretty much free for Fiku. And with that, things begin to slow down a little bit. The lobby isn't really completely under the control of the T side either. You can see Shock is playing back a bit more passive, being cautious that already AGO could have pushed in, so they're not really certain of the control there even. So they're going to have to expend a little bit of time moving in slowly here, likely in a moment. I think MHL might even have a chance to perhaps snatch a kill up from it. They're trading some things around here. They need to get a move on. They've only got just over 40 seconds remaining. Looks like maybe A is going to be the target. Molly over on top of the hut. Do need to move fast though, as I was saying. MHL in towards the hut. If they can swing quicker and at least get the trade on the offer, then that'll give them the chance perhaps to move forward. And Beastic finally able to do something with this lurker. Catches Fiku, keeping Laman busy as well in towards main, as he's got to keep his attention on behind. And well, it works out for him to get that kill on Beastic, and he just hadn't been pressured in the meantime. Instead, they're trying to run the bomb over towards ramp, but do they even have time? It's going to be very close.
Yeah, 14 seconds and Krasnell's already here, so we can just wait and deny the bomb plant here. There's no way they're going to have time to save this one. They just think things clear. Zedko's going to go for the bomb plant, and no way. He gets that one kill back, but Krasnell finishes it a 15-5 start for him, for the 18-year-old, doing fantastic work on the Ago roster. I mentioned his aggressive plays of really what reminded me of that Polish mixed team that played in advance, called Los Kugutos, I believe they were pronounced. And he is just, once again, showing that he is a prospect in the Polish scene to be reckoned with. Sinners go for a timeout, and they need it, because really, to make this game competitive, you'd say they probably would need 4 or 5 in this half, and 5 would be the maximum, of course. They do have a buy. They can have Oscar on that AK, of course, but other than that, just pistols to surround it on a half buy. So it's going to be rough. A go, showing they're here to play.
Yeah, I'm a little bit surprised. I thought we were going to maybe get a closer win here on Nuke in general.
Yeah,
Sinners would definitely be giving us a better performance than what we're getting after what we've seen from them back on Mirage as well, which is the one that we'd expect them to be maybe a bit more inconsistent on. But a hero rifle once again. We've seen Neo Frag go for it before. This time it's Oscar who's got the one alongside some Tech 9s and Deagles, and we'll see what can be done, because that's not a good start. Zedko already spammed up a little bit. Looks over a shock like, are you serious, man? This is what I'm dealing with. Are you seeing this?
Are you seeing this?
Can't say the last word.
Yeah, I'm not. I want to, but for the sake of professionalism, I'll stick with it. Zedko on 42, as we've said. And yeah, really, the goal is to activate Oscar in this one. He doesn't have the AWP, but he does have the solitary AK. Then when it's toward the hut, should be able to get that headshot, and does. A boost perhaps to get Oscar looking for a peek. This could be a chance to deal with MHL, but the flick up is going to be easy. Unfortunately, that was a little bit too slow in the end. I've seen teams go for that boost towards Secret, toward those stairs on the edge of double door, and do it very quickly and get some very cheeky entries to make unlikely rounds possible. But yeah, not to beat on this one. Should be looking up for a go, and they can now build up their economy toward the end of this half in a very nice, calm fashion. Fiku will catch Beastic toward outside as well. That drops the bomb. Now it's all down to these shots from Shock. Does get one, and he's been insane, Eagle, in general. Not just today, but in the past as well. But unfortunately, it's only the one. And it will be 11-2. Again, as we've said, bit more of a one-sided game than we were expecting. We saw the win rates beforehand and thinking, okay, these two teams, they're probably pretty closely matched on all the maps they actually play, exclude the permabans. And at the moment, a go, really doing some fantastic work. The buy is in from Sinners. Oscar, of course, having saved in that previous, only has a Tech 9 to work with in this one. So it's going to be rough.
Oh, well, already 2 entries coming in across the T side. They actually should be able to make that Tech 9's life a little bit easier. Unfortunately, the weapons I don't think will be recoverable anytime soon, but they're going to move fast onto A. Everyone is here, though, for the CT side currently, and Krasnell, he's going to get a bit done from the bomb site itself. Laman able to take out 2 before he eventually fell, so suddenly we've got a 2-on-2 in what was looking to be probably the most promising round so far from Sinners, and they don't have control of the bomb. Now the Tech 9 becomes an issue as well, trying to get out of hut while dealing with an op on the bomb site. This is not good, but look at Zedko. Yeah, he's got the flank. drop on MHL, you've actually seen Krasnal drop back out of Mayan himself, so he's able to at least snatch up Oscar then and stay alive now for this one-on-one, and he knows the bomb's in the open, so I think he's trying to catch the time in here for the swing to see if he can maybe find Zedko in the open. No, was maybe even expecting the flank for a second, didn't quite hear the drop, and just spotted the flash being thrown in, and well, it's Zedko looking to create the fight. He knows he's got the health advantage, and he finds the headshot just to be sure about it. A nice 3k from Zedko gives Sinners another round here on the board, but Krasnal and Laman put up a fight for that in what really shouldn't have been. It was the two initial entries immediately in that round there from Sinners coming in without even taking damage, I think, under the two players, but they ran onto A then, which was just heavily stacked up still.
In the end, that was just great play from Oscar. Sure, he doesn't really do much in that round, but just the fake flash in toward Hut draws the attention, which meant Zedko just creep toward Heaven and get that first frag, and in the end complete the clutch. And yeah, Krasnal's been insane so far in this game, 17 and 6. A great flash in toward main. Actually, I think he do something different here, so he's a bit faster than before, but look at the amount of damage they've taken. VQ got the first, and the fact that Neofag is also only 9 HP could be critical. He does get one more somehow. And that means they have a 3 versus 2 on the A site, and I think that actually means they might have this round now. With no real aggression coming in from a go, no one here quick enough to deny the plant. So it's an unlikely one, but because they have an AWP in hand, and with the, situation they're in, they're going to have to go for it. It's the last round of the half, so they will have to at least recover the AK. MHL close up, Krasnal going through that smoke perhaps. Now they know where they are, and this spray wall is going to be too hard to fight past, surely. Zedko's going to just finalize his nade, actually. Not sure what that was about, but it activates Oscar, and in the end, he was probably the main man in that situation, because, his teammates were very, very low as well. So, healths were tough, but in the end, a very, very nice one from the Sinners roster. So at least get themselves 4 on the half. So it's something to work with, but Ago have put in a great performance. And we'll be going to a little bit of a break after these replays, and we'll see you for the second half of Nuke.
Sarah, I hurt myself today trying to make the pain go away. Sarah, I want to fade away, be with the stars in outer space. You come and you go, you take me high, you take me low, but I don't know how to do this on my own anymore. Oh no, now it's my leave for the melancholy. Couldn't fill a hole inside me. Damned if I do, damned if I don't. Now it's Xannies till I numb my psyche. Cocaine just to feel my heartbeat. Nothing to lose, nothing to gain. Sarah.
Welcome back to Esea Premier. This is season 39. This is the second map of this series. It was Sinners to take the first map in pretty nice fashion, and now we have a go with a very nice lead on Nuke. A bit of a surprisingly strong lead on their CT side, but now Sinners on their CT side of Nuke. You have done some great work on it in the past. Can they show it again? To see how it goes. Oscar is boosted up with the 5-7 and the Kevlar on this one, and he's close toward Hut. Already a kill for him. It's such a powerful combination on the pistol round. Looking for more, but in the end, Liman does take him down. Zedko gets one. Nearfrag somehow helps out as well. And with B-Stick taking Fiku, it's all down to Furlan. He's creeping up toward Heaven in a bit of a rough spot. I don't think B-Stick's going to check it as of yet, so he could have some decent timing. He's a player with a defuse kit, so if he can disconnect that one, it could be a possibility. He does go for the kill. Oh no, it's a big whiff from Furlan, and B-Stick takes him down. He'd be better off going for the knife. Unfortunate.
Apparently, yeah. I do want to touch on something here as well now that we're moving over onto the opposing sides. Of course, Sinners, they tend to be quite a bit better. Not massively better on their CT side, but they win out 53% of their rounds there, so I'm expecting a little bit stronger of a show now, especially that they've got themselves the pistol. But the big point is the fact that AGO only win 41% of their rounds on the T side here, so that's not really too fantastic. Obviously, their last couple of games against their fellow Poles, they kind of won those games out incredibly quickly, so I don't think they got to play a lot of T rounds as they had started on the CT sides. So maybe that skews the stats a little bit, but you do have to wonder now if you see Sinners managing to not trade it back and forth off the back of this pistol, if they can keep themselves the control and get even maybe the open and gun round, there is still definitely the chance there for them to come in with a very strong CT side similar to what we just seen from AGO, and who knows, giving us maybe even a victory or an overtime, a bit of a more competitive one here than what we got on the previous map. Let's see, it's the force buy as we'd expect from AGO. There's actually not a lot to it, unfortunately, though. Just a Galil and a Scout, and then alongside that, you even see Furlan sticking on towards the Glock. I think he must have dropped the Galil.
That is a little bit too aggressive for my liking. They didn't even get the bomb planted, did they? So it's not like you can have two Galils and an AK, perhaps, and make it very possible. This is quite literally sacrificing Furlan just to get one rifle. It is only Krasnal. Sure, they do have the Scout. A couple of Deagles as well, but that's it really. It's obviously an investment that will probably, if Sinners clean it up, mean a much closer game. Probably 7 or 8 rounds on Sinners' side before they get themselves back into a full buy. They're actually creeping around toward outside. They have good control toward Garage, to be fair. And possibly can make their way down secret. Deadco's got the line though. A big advantage. Big swing coming in there, and that's what the Glock is for. Just jumping across the angle and baiting your teammates in. Liman gets that frag on the Deagle. Now it's interesting. Furlan goes in for more, but now the spray downs come through. Neo frag gets 3. Very nice on the FAMAS, and now it's all down to MHL with Oscar taking Fiku. If MHL gets 1 kill, it would be nice, but not to be. Oscar gets a couple of nice frags on the MP9 to build up his economy for the upcoming AWP on the CT side. And Sinners are very, very much in this now.
Yeah, I'm starting to believe that we're going to see a little bit of action here. At least we're going to see some fights from Sinners on their CT side more so. I think as long as, especially if they get the first gun round, that's when I truly start to believe. But for now, you can be comfortable that Sinners are at least starting to wake up and they can get themselves a few kills to feel a bit more comfortable individually, because we haven't had the same levels of standouts as we had back on Mirage, where Neofrag and Shock were just absolutely smacking AGO for the entire map. One positive, though, has been that Oscar's shown a better face as well. He's actually at the top of the scoreboard at the moment. And, well, Neofrag and Zedko are starting to build up those stats a small bit as well. Shock also pushes through ramp and gets himself 1. They do suffer a casualty, but I don't think they'll care too much about the 1.
Yeah. I mean, it's going to be interesting to see what Sinners do here, because they have FAMAS's a Galil recovered over. They have the MP5 that Zedko's dropped over to B-Stick. So they're going to have just the one primary rifle, I guess you could call it, in the M4 on Zedko. So that'll be pretty fascinating to see if they decide to go for something aggressive here, try and stop this play. And then unfortunately, they do. But the play toward outside is stopped by Krasnal very comfortably. That's up to 20 kills for him now. That's a very nice number for him to be on so early on in the game. Just over 1 kill per round. He's been superb so far. We've got the update done to sort out the little map score at the top of your screen. That was on a go by accident, but I can assure you that Sinners have taken map 1, and that is now corrected for you all, thanks to our very lovely producers. And we're going to be going in toward ramp, perhaps. Maybe once this smoke fades. That's going to stop her go for a little bit. We do have MHL on the AWP, of course, on this first buy, and they'll be desperate not to walk into a bit of a crossfire now, especially as they should know that Sinners are on technically their bonus buy, as it were. They'll do some damage to B-Stick with the MP5, but an MP5 outside at range isn't going to work, Dean.
No, not really the weapon that you want here, to be honest, especially up against AKs, maybe up against the Kevlar-less pistols or whatever. You can pop a few heads, spray down a few, but as you can see, it hasn't worked out incredibly well so far. This flank should at least give one kill to Neofrag, but it's not before Fiku is already gone ahead and taken out B-Stick elsewhere, and it doesn't even seem like the recovered weapon will be retrieved, but no, never mind. Neofrag somehow gets that into his hands in time. Furlan fully committed to the spray in a situation where he probably would have been better off bursting at range. But it doesn't matter in the end. They do end up losing the 2 players, of course, so a bit of reinvestment has to come in there. But they win out the open and gun round, which is what AGO really needed to happen here, so that they could get something going early on on their T side at least, get a few rounds, get a little bit of comfort, and just keep the pressure on Sinners so that they don't start feeling too comfortable, basically. And if they win this one, then they'll actually have a fairly easy path up to 14.
I would have liked to see something different, honestly, with that buy that Sinners had. I mean, they had the MP5 still, Galil, 2 time asses, something really aggressive toward lobby, perhaps. Maybe even I mean, we saw the aggression toward outside that was immediately stopped, but it's just one guy, really. It wasn't really a team effort. It was a flash attempt, but not really much more than that. Something with a number of bodies in that situation would have been nice, but yeah, they were still in a good spot. They'll realise now that getting through past that bonus buy, they'll have one more to face. And it is the double AWP setup now. We saw Shock do some great work on that on Mirage. Can he do any more on this one? Oscar just spots Fern over the top of the outside smoke. That is a glorious pick to get. B6 down to 40 HP, but it shouldn't mean too much, especially with this opening pick. That's a great start for the Sinners side. Fika and Le Mans have exactly the same score at the moment at 16-10 with Krasnal on 21, but Oscar is the king of this round so far. B6 health doesn't matter at all if you hit a headshot immediately. Fiku drops. It's all down to Krasnal, as I mentioned, who, unfortunately, is... Hello. Okay, he's going to get behind Shock here. He could go toward Heaven. He's completely... Wait, did he make noise on the ladder? No, he didn't. Okay, so it's fine. He's going to get one free kill here toward the A side, and they're going to be absolutely confused how it's possible, because Shock is just not going to be ready for that. Beautifully done for Krasnal. That trigger discipline could work out for more, but unfortunately, he's now stuck between a rock and a hard place. Oscar actually misses the shot, though, and has to get his pistol out. Almost could have been more. In the end, it's the no-scope to finish it off, but that was scary, to put it lightly.
It got a little bit worrying. It was looking to be a pretty clean round for Sinners up until Krasnal just kind of creeps into Heaven there for himself. We've got to say those ops doing a pretty good job here on outside and holding things down, and it's what you needed. We said Sinners, if they had lost that round, their economy would have been completely in the bin, so winning that one out now, leaving AGO instead of it in a bit of an awkward position once again, even with their loss bonus, as they don't manage to, of course, get the bomb down, so it'll be a little bit of a half by Galil even coming out onto Krasnal, and it should lead to a 9th round for Sinners. But we are getting a pause, and it's been confirmed that this one is from AGO. Understandably so, they might have a bit of a lead here still with 4 rounds between them and Sinners, but they are on the T side of Nuke, and they, so far at least, have failed to chain any rounds together. So they're going to be focused on trying to at least keep this round expensive for Sinners, at the very least, if not win it, and then to come alive in this next one if they can at least take a few weapons out here and just immediately again break down the CTs, because they need to put an end to this one soon. Obviously, as you said earlier on, the dot was a little bit wrong. It was under AGO for a moment. It was our producers that were the Sinners, actually, because they were lying to us. But it is Sinners that took the first map for themselves. Oh, good damage from MHL, and he gets down the vent. Let's see if anyone's tempted to follow him.
That is interesting. The fact he's actually got down the vent there without any information, or not information, at least doing it without taking any damage, is pretty ridiculous, because that will just activate the Glil on Krasnal, and MHL's just going to walk through the smoke, hearing the reload of Zedko. This one's turned on its head for a go here. They have a great chance to recover it. Oscar has the AWP. He can't just peek from Heaven and hope to retake this one cleanly. He has to try and chuck down that one-way smoke toward the plant pot, or the paint pot, sorry, toward Heaven. Try and make something happen. But again, MHL has taken Shock. This should be it now. Oscar's been tagged down, and there we go. I mean, at the end of the day, just getting that one player down the vents, causing that commotion, is enough to send Krasnal in toward the site, get the trades from the first entry on the Galil, and in the end, MHL pushing through that smoke with the Tech 9 was the key frag.
Yeah, damn. I mean, just the initial control, as you mentioned, was fantastic, but to come back in then and still manage to even get a frag from it to help open up the bomb site is just great work. And it's a round that AGO had no right winning. It's left Sinners in a very awkward spot. Oscar's actually got himself an op here, and they're going to push in through ramp. There's no one in lobby, though. Actually, no, sorry, there is. There's Fiku up on the top of Hook
Rafter.
currently. The rafter,
I don't
there
know
we
what
go.
it is.
Initially, I thought he was on the roof from the radar, but it can be a little bit awkward to tell. And, well, Oscar, he doesn't really seem to care. He knows where he's at. He comes in, help of a teammate as well to take the initial attention. And just
That's really
snatches
good.
it up with the op. Good health control here, at least for AGO, but now they've got to worry about the fact that they no longer have lobby.
Yeah, that is true. I mean, I really like that play with the AWP. You know, send the pistol with the AWP to go for that entry. It works, but of course they sent so many men into that position. They don't really have anyone anywhere else. So it opens up the hell position, as you say. AJ realizing that, taking control of it immediately. And they have control of B now. They'll just be shifting around, not making any information anywhere, not wanting to give Sinners anything, knowing that it's a 4 versus 5 and it's a little bit more dangerous. The good thing is for them, though, is they do have full utility to clear this one up. Beastic is not going to expect 2 players in front of them as he rounds the corner. Molotov toward the vents, stopping those rotations. And with Presnell taking near frag already, they're trying to get Oscar out of dodge and get that AWP into the next round, as you would expect.
Yeah, the AK on Shock as well going to be pretty useful, I've got to say. Just wanting to have as strong of a buy as possible because they're not going to have many more opportunities at it. AGO now up on towards 14, and this is starting to look a little bit similar to what we had towards the end of Mirage as well. Krasnal, that could have been risky if he went any further forward. It's only the USP of Zedko, of course, but he was looking the other way. It was only a few inches away from his head being shown, I believe. Zedko just wants a weapon, and I don't think he's going to get one, is he? Doesn't look like there's anything else really around, and no one's moving towards him. So, yeah, AGO playing it safe. They just want to carry their own weapons over, make sure that if they do end up losing another round, that it's not going to punish them too severely. But a decent entry there as well coming in from Sinners. They just weren't able to really do anything else off the back of it. We'll see now, though, again, once the guns come out. Oh, if a mass for Beastic, that's not ideal. This buy could be quite a bit better. What Shock got? Just an AK, of course, that was saved over. It's not the worst. They've got good nades at least behind it, as well as that op on Oscar, obviously.
Utility is good, that's something. Especially if Fiki wants to go for a fast play here. The smoke will help him out. He's actually going to be hiding inside of it. Does Beastic know that that's a possibility? He's got to go towards CT vent. In comes the flash, but they aren't checking that CT vent position. Oh, and Beastic gets 2. Helped out by Neofrag as well. Very nicely done from the Sinners defense there. That looked pretty scary, honestly, to begin with a Go just ready to pop through that smoke, but not to be. Unfortunately, Go are just left with the control of lobby, which doesn't really mean much in this scenario at all. What do you think that call out? Do you know what teams call that rafter that we mentioned in the previous round? I actually would like to know what professional teams call that. Just above lobby, on top of lobby. I mean, it's a bit of a hard call out to call in the midst of chaos, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it's not one that really I used frequently while playing. I've got many thousands of hours in the game, to be honest. I think I'd normally just say above foot lobby or something along those lines, or lobby above, on sitting on the
next to ladder
or whatever. I'd just say on the yoke. On the yoke.
That works. I mean, a couple of frags come through there for a Go, so that's something, but Sinners survive, win the round with 3 alive, so very good. That's for the future. As we see the flash coming in there to send the Go players in toward the A side, but in the end overlooking Beastic towards CT vent. No Molotov for that CT vent position, which is unusual in those sort of plays. And yeah, it gets them up to 9. A pause coming in again from a Go, as you probably would expect in a scenario like this, knowing that they just need 2 to take the map pick of Sinners away. And they will, if they do manage that, they will have alternated map picks. And it would have been an interesting way to get to a decider, which would be Ancient.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing Ancient. As we said, it's a strong map for both teams. I think what happened there was that they had obviously the player far forward in the smoke. Once that starts fading, he probably called, we need to move now. So they probably aren't really too ready to get the mollies and such in. So they just screw up, play off of the contact, hope we can get a quick entry. And obviously in that case, with Beastic playing a very passive angle, it doesn't really work out for them. If he was just playing from the bomb site, or if he was in the open looking at the door, for example, like you'll see the CTs a lot of the time, then yeah, they probably are able to at least trade that one out. It does just work well for Sinners on the setup. We'll see whether they can continue that now, because again, they don't really have any room for mistakes to be made. It's a similar spot as to what AGO were left in towards the end of Mirage. They did get it back to 11 before they fell short. Sinners will be looking for a bit more to try and take it all away. And for now, could still actually win it here in regulation if they're absolutely flawless. Ooh.
Yeah, in comes that Skylight Flash to try and flash the lobby position. Almost getting Neofrag some information, and actually gives him a lot of information. Doesn't actually see anything in lobby at all. Didn't clear it out in its entirety. But still, he would have seen that it's a little bit sparse at the moment. A little bit of a boost coming in to put Neofrag up toward the rafters and get him into a bit more of a promising position if they do go for an A-pop once again. And that could be what they do. Zed goes toward the outside position, looking to try and lurk around. But MHL and Krasnodar got themselves 2 entries toward this A site. Will they look for Neofrag? It's a very common position, but it can always be good for 1-for-1, and that would be enough to maybe get the Sinners rotations coming in. Neofrag's not looking toward his bottom left, and now he will. There's the first, but they're disconnected, and that gives him a chance to do more. MHL and Furlan are just, or MHL and Leman, sorry, are just sort of waiting toward the vent position at the moment, not really doing anything, possibly going for a little bit of a boost. There's a lot of noise being made. I'm not really sure what their plan is here, because Neofrag's just deleting all of them. Going for a full spray down, almost completes it. That was so messy from a go. I don't like that in the slightest. That means Oscar can just peek for Mini, and honestly, I don't know what that was, to be frank.
Yeah, a little bit of an awkward one, to be honest. The boost up on the vents, that was a weird attempt, I suppose, but just fantastic control from Neofrag coming in order to actually get that one. Yeah, at the end there with not really a ton of time before all the CTs kind of crunch in on him and just trying to get that bomb down desperately to give a chance in the afterplant. 10 on the board now for Sinners. You've got to wonder if things didn't go south in that round where the Tech 9 was able to get the early control and just really kind of have the entire team flustered now in position. Perhaps Sinners right now could be getting close to even tying things up at maybe 13 to 13 soon. Or maybe even 12, depending on whether AGO had got themselves a bit more off the back of it or not. But this buy, as you can see, is a mixed bag. They've got, again, one man who's heavily in on the rifle. It won't be an issue if they can get a bomb plant, but if Sinners can just kind of shut this one down, then you might even see a weaker weapon in this next gun round for AGO. But Leman, he's making use of the AK.
That's good. That's an entry they need. Something they can pounce on now. Shock is toward ramp, but he's having himself a little bit of a rougher game than he had on Mirage. So maybe I'll get the bomb planted comfortably, and Fiku's actually managed to take B-stick. Again, pistols causing Sinners problems. 4 versus 3. Oscar needs at least 1 in this position, but they're baiting with 2 in dark. So that could be perfect. Jock needs a couple of frags here, surely. Leman's creeping up with that AK to help out. Shock does get the first, a nice headshot, and they can now creep up a little bit further. Oscar really needs to get 1 frag here, because the op is so hard to use in that sort of position. Does get 1, but Fiku takes his head off. 2 versus 2. Shock does have a defuse kit, and with Zedko taking Fiku, it should be all Zedko. That's a good frag from MHL, but unfortunately, you won't be able to see the head of Shock, but actually, he gets it! Look at, you saw the animation of Shock as he came off the bomb there. That shows that the defuse must have had, what, 0.4, 0.3, something like that remaining. So close. And in the end, a great play from MHL gets XCOM a go to map point.
Yeah, you can see his body was just starting to kind of lean back and come out of the defuse animation. It was so close. But MHL, he puts AGO up to 15, and again, it's his Tech 9 that does the work. He may not be the top fragger right now, but he's had a lot of impact with just a single frag a couple of times on that weapon. He's allowed them to get up towards the security, at least, of the overtime being confirmed. Again, though, Sinners, I think they've still got to believe in themselves. Even though their buy here is a little bit limited, they know that if they can get this, 4 more rounds down on the CT side of Nuke is still incredibly achievable. And they've still got the advantage of being able to close it here on this map. If AGO take this, they've still got Ancient to worry about, obviously. So Sinners know, okay, yeah, let's fight as hard as we can. We could kind of just be like, screw it, we have Ancient next, but let's get it done here and now. We have our opportunity still, and Neofrag is going balls to the wall into lobby. Alright, that's the bomb. You're going to have Fiku trying to push out through vent, but he's actually going to be helped out by Leman, who I believe surfed his way around main or something to get there that quickly.
Hey! Oh, no. And I think we know what that means, Dean, right?
Means I'm sad.
It means I'm sad as well. But guys, that is the way it is, unfortunately. That is a little bit of a bug that goes on with the Esea Premier right now. The admins and everyone are aware of it, so don't worry, we will get that sorted eventually. And I don't believe it happens for map 3, Dean, as I believe you said earlier. So we will have a full ending to the deciding map. But as you can see, that does mean a go take the map. Mostly thanks to that ridiculous play from MHL on the Tech 9 in that previous. That was the round winner, wasn't it? So yeah, very, very nice in the end. Unfortunately, we don't get to see it, but you know the result. And we go to Ancient. I'm excited for that.
Yeah, it's more of a map here where we can expect both teams to be quite strong. I think it's been played like 20-something times in the past few months for AGO specifically, so it's one that they're very, very familiar with. Sinners, while they've played it a lot less, also have a really good win rate on it with like 80+% as well. Haven't played it in the double digits also over the past 3 months, so they're no slouches. It's just that AGO have played a ridiculous amount in comparison. So I'm thinking this is where things probably get a little bit closer, rather than being what we've kind of seen in these first two maps where one team holds control for a while, then you see a little bit of a comeback starting to happen before it's eventually shut out. I think we might have that back and forth continue a bit more so throughout the map itself. So I'm happy that we're getting a third map. As you were saying, I'm always here for some good CS. That's why we enjoy commentating the game. So hopefully that's what we're going to get now out of this map number 3.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, Ancient, we've actually seen it in the major as well. Ancient has actually provided some incredibly exciting best-of-3 deciders, so I'm hoping we're going to get something like that. We're going to go to a bit of a break. When we return, we will be going straight into Ancient, the decider. See you then.